I'd like to tell you that right now, creativity is the top priority in the 21st century. And it's creative intelligence that drives creativity. So the question is, what is creative intelligence and who has it? Essentially, creative intelligence is a process of search and discover. It's like looking for patterns and trying to make connections. Think of it like a kaleidoscope. When we turn it, the little colored chips fall into place and arrange and rearrange themselves into all kinds of intricate designs. With creative intelligence, we also turn everything upside down and around to consider problems and ideas from every vantage point possible until an unexpected solution catches us by surprise. It's really a process of creative play that's serious. So what we're doing is we're pushing against all the limits in every direction and arguing why not with everything that seems to be impossible. And creative intelligence drives innovation in 4 particular ways. First, we redefine the problem so it is no longer the problem we thought it was, and we throw out all of our expectations. Next, and it's really important, that we fight very hard to resist the standard idea killers. Can't be done, it's too expensive, it will never work. Then the fun part comes, where we get to come up with all kinds of wild ideas and crazy solutions. Anything goes. And once we've decided on a solution, then we're ready to invent a way to make the idea work, which is a difficult process. And through the whole thing, we persevere relentlessly. And why is that? Because innovation, by its very nature, is risky and setbacks are absolutely inevitable. So now, for the second part of the question, who has creative intelligence? And for this, I'd like to look for the answer in your own heads. So if you would please just close your eyes for a second. And I'd like you to picture some of history's greatest inventors. Okay, let's open our eyes and see what we have. How many of you imagined or pictured mostly or all men? Okay, where were the female inventors' faces? We know they're there. But the reason that these things popped into your head immediately is they're automatic processes that are called schemas. And they were planted there a long time ago. They reside in your mental library, but outside of your conscious awareness, so they have the power to drive your thinking without you even knowing about it. So think of it this way. If all of the images of inventors in your head are male, where's your mental role model if you're a creative girl or innovative woman? Now let's turn our attention to some uses for creative intelligence, some real-world inventions. So I'd like you to consider these. And here's a few more. So it may surprise you to learn that all of these were invented by women. Chainsaw, fire escape, all of those were invented by women, with the exception of one. Does anybody know who it is? Yes, you got it. Sorry, guys. The one in this group that was invented by a man happens to be Mr. Potato Head. So what's going on here? Why this automatic assumption that invention only occurs in the men's club, that leaders of innovation can't be women? It's the 21st century, and it's now 2016, so one would think all those historical barriers to creative women would be gone or fixed. But are they? As a matter of fact, most Americans think that's true, that gender inequity is a thing of the past. But is it? If you take a look at this graph, what you'll see is since 1996, the number of women who are at the lead of Fortune 500 companies as CEOs has inched along, but a really slow snail's pace. So as you can see further down the road, it peaked, if you can call it that, at a whopping 5%. In 2015, we have now declined to 4.2%. And perhaps this graph gives you an even clearer picture of the gender inequity at the top. So here's the thing. Creative intelligence is actually genderless. Women have just as much creativity as men. And in fact, research tells us very clearly that in key areas of innovation, women are actually more effective leaders, including in IT, R&D, marketing, and manufacturing. So now, what is the next thing to do? Clearly, having facts and figures and being aware of gender equity isn't enough to fix the problem. So we need to start to weave into our conversations some pointed questions. First, we need to start asking, why are creative girls and innovative women still being overlooked, unheard, and held back? Why are innovative women still hitting the glass ceiling and being pushed over the glass cliff? And why is this continuing to happen in this day and age? We did have a women's movement in this country, I'm sure of it, but it doesn't seem to have done the trick. So we need to do something specific right now while we're waiting for answers to those questions. So we can support creative intelligence in women. We can do that in several ways. First, we need to let everybody know that women need to be at the top of organizations. Why? Because they have 85% of the purchases in this country. Power of the purse. So they know what people want. They own 11 million businesses. They hire and employ 9 million people. And they generate, get this, $1.6 trillion a year in revenue. But we can also do more. We can really actively get better at supporting each other's creative efforts. And we can join forces at work to create and promote a culture that allows us to speak up. And above all, we need to stop believing that the passage of time alone is going to create gender equity. And we need to do more yet. We need to promote creative intelligence in our girls. And we can do that by buying toys and games and books that require creative problem solving. We can also value their questioning and their curiosity. We can foster their interest in STEM areas and support their natural inclination to invent and make things. And we can also point out role models, women who are doing the innovative work at the top, so they can have those in their mental library. And we can also encourage them as girls to take the lead and take the lead early. When we do, they're 74% more likely to obtain a key leadership position when they are adults. And we can shift our emphasis with girls, less on the sweet, helpful princess, and more on the strong, smart leader of ideas. And I want you to take a look at these while I'm telling you the rest. So here's the important thing. Everybody needs to point out that we are still in a status quo that ties us to the apron strings of the 1960s. And we need to do something about it actively and now. Why now? Because if we do the math, things will not change very much in terms of gender equity for many years, probably not until 2040. And if we say nothing and do nothing, more women in an equal level at the top of leadership will not change for 100 years. We all know that women are naturally creative problem solvers. When something has to be done, women find a way to do it. And so we need to encourage that. And we need to decide today to do something different. And why will we make a difference for our girls and creative women? Not because we have to, but because we choose to. And I think you'll agree it's about time.